So, we are here again with the release of Season 2 on the 11th of April. Now, it is time to get informed of what is coming during the Hellfire Gala. First, we have the announcement of 2 new heroes, Emma Frost, who will join us when Season 2 starts, and Ultron, who will be joining halfway through. Speaking of new characters, NetEase has stated that they plan on making each season last only 2 months. And they'll be releasing a new character every month, starting from Season 3. So not Season 2, but starting from Season 3. It's really going to change a lot, because it means that you get 12 characters a year. Now, onto the balance update, starting with the Vanguards. Captain America has had his base health reduced from 675 to 650. But with the team-up anchor, his health has been increased to 750. His shield has also had its health reduced from 400 to 350. Doctor Strange has had his offensive power weakened, with his daggers of Danax damage decreasing from 18 to 16, and his Maelstrom of Madness, his conversion ratio, being reduced from 1.3 to 1.2 of however many points of madness you have. This leads to about an 18% decrease in damage for a full combo. Hulk has had his base speed increased from 600 to 650, and the cooldown time for his shield has been reduced from 12 to 10 seconds. And his leap has had its minimum charge time reduced from 0.7 to 0.5 seconds. Magneto has had the energy cost increased for his ultimate from 3,100 to 3,400, meaning it will charge 9% slower than before. Penny Parker has had major buffs. Now she can critically hit with her primary fire, and the movement speed penalty has been halved from 40% to 20%. Her max health has also been increased from 650 to 750. The Thing has had his damage reduction from embattled leap reduced for himself and the target from 30% to 25%. Thor has had his base health increased from 525 to 600, and his base movement speed increased from 600 to 650, matching Hulk. Now onto the duelists. Black Widow has had what I can really only feel is a very small buff, where she can now fire her primary weapon after immediately activating either her ultimate or the second kick of Edge Dancer. I can't really feel much of a difference in the practice range, but obviously I am not a Black Widow main. I do not really play her, so they're gonna have to determine whether this is like the best change ever or not, really. Now, Hawkeye has had the slow effect of charging his bow reduced from 30% to 20%, and the damage for his hypersonic arrow increased from 50 to 55 per instance of damage. His ultimate has also had major buffs, with its energy cost being reduced from 3,700 to 3,100, leading to Hawkeye getting his ultimate 17% quicker, and the bow draw speed has also been increased from 1.35 times to 1.5 times during his ultimate. Hela has had a nerf to the cooldown of her Astral Flock, increasing it from 12 to 15 seconds, and the spell damage for secondary explosions from Piercing Knight have had their damage increased from 30 to 35, and also the cooldown of Soul Drainer has decreased from 12 to 10 seconds. Human Torch had his attack interval for the primary attack reduced from 0.6 to 0.5 seconds, and the cooldown for Flaming Meteor has been increased from 12 to 15 seconds, but it now grants 75 bonus health. Iron Man has had his hitbox slightly reduced, and he will now gain 100 bonus health on use of his Armor/Gamma Overdrive. Iron Fist has had his Harmony Recovery bonus health reduced from 150 to 100, but the fall-off rate has been reduced from 25 to 15 per second, meaning that you'll have less total, but it will go for longer, so you can do it a bit earlier before the fight, and it will last throughout more of the fight. The primary attack, after using his guard, has also had buffs to its tank busting capabilities, with losing 1 base damage, 10 to 9, but the percentage per max health of the enemy has been increased from 1.7% to 2.1%. The cooldown for his kick has also been reduced from 12 to 10 seconds. Mr. Fantastic has had quite big buffs, with his base health increasing from 350 to 375, and the damage of his primary attacks in both states is increasing from 60 to 65 base state and 70 to 80 in inflated. If you use flexible elongation, enemies affected by it will now be slowed by 35%, and it has a reduced cooldown from 10 to 8 seconds. The elasticity gained from your abilities has been reduced from 30 to 20, but the elasticity gained from your primary attacks has been increased from 5 to 8, and the bonus health from inflated state has been reduced from 450 to 400. Now, when you activate your ultimate, you'll gain a bonus health equal to entering inflated state. This, however, will not stack with the inflated state bonus health, but it does seem to stack with some of the bonus health from using your abilities. Moon Knight has had his present dart projectile speed increased from 120 to 150 meters per second. His Moonblade will now also grant 25 bonus health per hit enemy, up to 100 total, and his hook pull startup time has been reduced from 0.4 to 0.15 seconds. Now, his ultimate has had its duration increased from 3.5 to 4.5 seconds, and the number of talons increased from 14 to 18, and the full speed has been, quote, slightly enhanced. It's quite faster, to be honest. But to counter this, a new fall-off mechanic has been introduced, beginning at 1.5 meters and reaching a max at 5 meters of a 70% damage reduction. Scarlet Witch has had the damage of her primary attack increased from 60 to 80 per second, but the percentage of max health damage has been removed. So essentially, you're going to be better against squishy targets, but worse against, like, Groot, for example. The secondary fire damage has also been increased from 35 to 40 for the direct impact, and 35 to 40 for the spell field. So it's been increased by 10 if you directly hit them, or by 5 if you miss them, but you're close. Her Mystic Projection cooldown has also been increased from 8 to 10 seconds, and the duration of her phased state has been reduced from 2 to 1.5 seconds. Her ultimate has had its slow effect reworked, now starting at 1.5 seconds instead of immediately, with a linear increase to 35% over 3.5 seconds. Star-Lord has had his primary damage reduced from 80 to 75 per second, but he has a new fall-off mechanic where it starts at 4 meters and maxes out at an 80% damage reduction at 8 meters. Winter Soldier has an increased cooldown on his bionic hook from 8 seconds to 12 seconds, and his ultimate has been nerfed to only doing 80 from a 100 damage on impact, and the culling threshold has been reduced from 20 to 15% of max health. Wolverine's Savage Claw hits will now produce 10 rage instead of 7, and his Berserk Claw strikes will now produce 5 rage instead of 8. The Berserk Claw are the ones that he does after his, like, shift leap, so like the faster hits. The rage gained from Feral Leap has been reduced from 20 to 10, and Vicious Rampage from 20 to 15. But the rage gain from being hit has been upped from 3 to 5 per instance of damage. His ult has also been nerfed, with the knockdown time for enemies being reduced from 1 to 0.75 seconds. Adam Warlock has had the cooldown for Soul Bond increased from 30 to 40 seconds, and his ultimate will now revive at 30% of max health instead of 100 health. Cloak and Dagger have had their ultimate duration changed, where all 3 dashes will now have their duration synced to the last dash, meaning that the entire ultimate will disappear at the same time and not one by one. Invisible Woman has had her Guardian shield health decreased from 300 to 250. Loki has had his cooldown of Regeneration Domain increased from 25 to 30 seconds. Mantis has had her max health reduced from 275 to 250. However, the effects of her Healing Flower and Allied Inspiration can now be stacked up to a maximum of 16 seconds, which is 2 uses of the abilities. Rocket Raccoon has had his healing changed. The healing per second has been reduced from 70 to 50, but there is a burst of healing when it comes in range of a target of 55 health, and it'll be each target that one bubble goes to, essentially. So if there's like 10 and if there's 5 allies in a row, it will heal each one of them by 55 and the healing per second. His dash has had some big nerf, with the cooldown increasing from 6 to 10 seconds and the distance reducing from 10 to 8 meters. His ultimate has had a change, so now it will boost damage output by 25% instead of 50, but it will give overhealth to allies affected by it up to 150. The energy cost was also increased from 3,700 to 4,000. Next up is team-ups, starting with Winter Soldier, who lost his team-up with Rocket, the increased fire rate and infinite ammo, but he has gained a team-up with Captain America, where basically he can slam into Steve, quickly moving both of them towards each other, and it damages all enemies around in a certain radius. I can't, it's about like 5 to 10 meters, probably closer to 10, and this will deal a significant amount of damage and slow them down. Now, this can also be activated on an allied, meaning that you jump towards them, like slam the ground, and then it creates that spell field again where it damages and slows them. Namor has lost his frozen spawn from Lunar Snow, but he gained a Gamma Monstro from a new team up with Hulk. It has a 40-meter range beam. It will shred people. It looks like it's going to be absolutely horrible to play against. Psylocke has had her Psionic Disc ability from Magic taken away, but gained a new team up with Emma Frost, where she can like duplicate herself and basically deal double damage. Now, Doctor Strange has lost his team up with Hulk, but he gained a team up anchor with Scarlet Witch, granting him 100 extra max HP. Scarlet Witch and Magneto's team up has been removed, but she's gained a team up with Doctor Strange where she can use Mystic Burst, which is essentially a rapid fire mode of her secondary fire. She can also use primary and secondary at the same time while this is activated, so it's a lot of damage. Magneto, on the other hand, has a new team up with Emma Frost, where he can also create a clone of himself, exactly the same as the one with Psylocke. Thor, Captain America, and Storm's team up has also been removed. Thor is getting his buffs, which we covered earlier. Captain America is getting the team up anchor with Winter Soldier, which grants him 100 health and 5% extra damage, and obviously the buffs that we've talked about earlier. But Storm is getting no compensating buffs or an extra team up, so it's just a straight nerf for her. To round it off, Emma Frost is going to get an extra 100 max HP as the anchor of the team up with her Psylocke and Magneto. I will be doing a video covering Emma Frost soon. There are going to be some changes to competitive mode, like hero bands coming all the way down to gold 3 from where they were previously, which was up from diamond and beyond. They'll now be from gold 3 and beyond. And there's going to be a lot, and they said that there's going to be more weight behind individual performance when determining how much you gain or lose points by in competitive. Now, to end the late patch notes, I will ask you a question, which is, which skin are you looking at buying between the two new ones? Obviously, this question is rhetorical, because, I mean, who would pass up on being able to cosplay Homelander? Anyway, thank you for watching until the end, and remember to like, subscribe, and have a good rest of your day.